Takes public speaking to be able to take your mask off, huh? Thank you, Jill, and thank you all for coming out today, and those of you who are tuning in on Facebook during this pandemic. Like COVID, another community issue, domestic violence just doesn't care about our political persuasions or about the color of our skin or if we are rich or poor or somewhere in between. On May 12th, 2012, in this spot, in this kiss and go lane, Shanaz Kabiye, a wife, mother, and postdoctoral UNC researcher, was shot multiple times and killed by her husband. This violence was sparked by her request for a divorce, and despite a protection order, her husband, who had been granted joint custody of their 4- and 5-year-old children, showed up at her home. She escaped to her neighbors for a moment of safety, but when she came here to pick up her children, she was met by his rage. So this was in 2012, and like many in our community, I read about this tragedy and wondered why she could not find safety in our prosperous town. I was surprised to learn, thank you, that Orange County did not have a shelter for domestic violence, and to this day, many folks still assume that there is one somewhere over there, hidden somewhere. Wanting to understand more, I reached out to Dr. Rebecca Macy. She's a researcher in this field at the UNC School of Social Work, and she was incredibly responsive to this query and wanted to learn more about what needs were needed in her own backyard. And with the blessing of the Dean, Dean Gary Bowen, she conducted a comprehensive domestic violence needs assessment in Orange County. Dr. Macy's evidence-based research led to the Compass Center, which is the state-designated domestic violence service provider, to launch the Safe Homes, New Lives initiative, an initiative that departs from perhaps the less nimble and less empowering shelter model, but instead offers an individual apartment and wraparound services during a crisis. So the loss of Shania's life was especially catastrophic for her family and friends, but I'm quite certain everyone was left feeling victimized. The loss of her life was a devastating loss for our community with a long-term ripple effect and left us feeling battered as well. Domestic violence is a community problem and requires a group solution. We lose a piece of our humanity each time a tragedy like this happens. But we can become more human through our action and our response. So each constituency that's participated in this effort, UNC Health, local government and law enforcement, community members, represents a strength that can be used to bring crisis housing to our town. So let's weave these strong cords together and craft a quilt, a collaboration of services that provide safety and shelter to all of our community members. We are so close to achieving this goal. Thanks to many donors during the quiet period of this campaign, we've raised over $600,000 and are ready to open up, or soon we'll be ready to open up 3 apartments. Because of the great need, we'd like to scale that to 6 and raise about $1 million. So this is our call to action. We don't want to squander this opportunity. Let's speak up, let's speak out, and let's take this issue out of the shadows and shine our community, our collective community compassion and funding and determination to bring safe homes and new lives to those seeking safety from their abusers.